let us start with the steps in solving a math problem. So here for our first step, we must read and understand the problem. Sometimes we have to read the problem a couple of times in order for us to fully understand what the problem is all about. There are also situations that we must apply some reading techniques like looking for keywords or highlighting such keywords, and we also have to paraphrase the problem in order for us to fully understand the problem. And for number 2, we have to make a plan for the solution. Here, in this particular step, we have to look for correct mathematical concepts or operations that might help us solving the problem. So in this step, sometimes we also have to make or construct our own explicit equation that solves the problem. But there are also cases that there would be formulas that we might be using to solve the problem. And for the third one, we have to work on the solution. And here in this step, it is actually the evaluation process or the solving process of the problem. And for number 4, we have to check the answer. So here it requires to substitute the calculated value in the equation, and if the value gives us a correct equation, then there's a possibility that the answer is correct, especially when all the mathematical concepts or operations or even the equations used are also correct. Problems involving sequences. And for our first problem, Rhea was encouraged by her parents to save money. Her parents gave her a piggy bank as a gift with an initial amount of 1,500 pesos. She plans to deposit her money on a weekly basis for a period of 140 days, given the pattern of 5 pesos for the first week, 10 pesos for the second week, 15 pesos for the third week, and so on. How much will be the total amount of money she has after such period? So here you will notice that I have highlighted some of the keywords in the problem in order for me to easily look at the information once I reread the problem. And now let us write all the important information in the problem, such as the known quantities. So here we have an initial amount of 1,500. So let us simply call this to be the initial money. And here you would also notice that Freya plans to deposit her money on a weekly basis. So let us write such information here. So there will be such amount of deposited money on a weekly basis here. And it was stated in the problem that it goes with a pattern such as 5 pesos for the first week, 10 pesos for the second week, 15 pesos for the third week, and such pattern continues. And let us try to write such information here. So 5 for the first week, 10 for the second, and 15 for the third. And here you will notice that it actually comes with a pattern such as adding a 5 from the previous number so that we get the next number 10. And if we do the same here, adding 5 would give us 15. So this pattern continues until the last week. And obviously, in order for us to come up with the total amount of the deposited money on the weekly basis, we must add all those values as well. And since we do not know exactly yet what will be the last week for which she has to deposit a certain amount of money, then let us try to look at this information. It was stated that the deposit will happen for a total period of 140 days on a weekly basis. And if we try to calculate how many weeks are there in 140 days, then we must easily have such by dividing 140 by 7. And it actually gives us 20 weeks. So that means that there would be 20 numbers here, and this actually shows an arithmetic series because the numbers actually form an arithmetic sequence by which we need to come up with the sum of all those numbers. Then it becomes an arithmetic series, and the last term would be the 20th term. And now we can actually solve the problem by having this particular concept of having the sum of the initial money that she has, which is 1,500, with the total amount of deposited money that comes with an arithmetic series. And looking at the information that we can have with this illustration, then our a sub 1 would be 5, while the common difference can easily be determined by having the second term minus the first term, which has a value of 5. And the formula for the arithmetic series that we would be using here, obviously, is the formula that only requires us such quantities of a sub 1 and the common difference. And here is our formula. And now let us substitute all the known quantities here for the a sub 1 and the common difference in our formula. And since we would like to have the total amount of money that she has for a period of 20 weeks, then the s sub n becomes s sub 20. And since the n changes to 20, this also changes as well to 20. And now for the value of a sub 1, we have a 5. And the n again changes to 20. And for our common difference, we have a calculated value of 5. And now let us simplify this resulting equation. So 20 divided by 2 is 10, while 2 times 5 is 10, while this gives us a 19. And now let us have the 19 be multiplied with the 5, and that gives us 95. And now here we have a 10 times 105, which actually gives us 1,050. So remember that this is only the total amount of the deposited money. So let us try to have it here. So the total amount of deposited money is 1,050. And now for us to have the total amount of money Freya has after such period of 140 days or 20 weeks, then it would simply be the initial amount of 1,500 plus 1,050, and there is a total of 2,550.